Hi friends, my name is Julia and today I have a very special video for you, and that is because we're going on an adventure. Who would have thought? Now, a day in the life of a chameleon is what I'm going to be showing you. And if we remember from our storybook, Chameleon's Colors, our main character is a chameleon. And although we do get to learn about what happens in the storybook, we don't really know a lot about Chameleon himself. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching you on this adventure. Now, let's get started. Where do they live? And I'll teach you a very fancy vocabulary word for an animal's home, and that's called a habitat. Now, let's figure out what is Chameleon's habitat. And if we look in these 2 pages from the storybook, here it looks like Chameleon is living in a very green, leafy, palm leaves. We see a lot of them, jungly area, and it looks like Chameleon lives with a whole bunch of other animals. We see zebras, lions, different birds. We see even a rhinoceros. We see giraffes, elephants, all of the good stuff. But besides the green leafy pages we see here, if we look at this page, it also looks like they seem to live in a sort of deserty area too, where it's very warm, the sun is very big, it must mean it's very warm. And even though there aren't as many leaves as in these 2 pictures, the land is like very, very wide and big and gives a lot of space for all the different animals to walk all around. And so in this case, we would call a chameleon's habitat a rainforest and a desert, or a desert. Now, what do chameleons eat? And a fancy word for a way someone eats, or something eats, in this case chameleon, would be their diet. And if we look at the picture I have here, we see chameleon uses its very, very long tongue to sort of grab their food. Same in this picture here, we see its very long tongue. Now, what does it look like it's trying to eat? We see leaves, and we also see bugs or insects. And so in this case, a chameleon's diet are usually bugs or green leafy vegetables. Now, when do they sleep? Do they sleep at night? Do they sleep at day? Let's find out. Now, I have 2 very big looking words here, but I'll break it down, don't worry. We have diurnal and nocturnal. Now, diurnal is when you're awake during the day and asleep at night. That's usually how we are. That's usually how humans are. Now, nocturnal is the opposite, or very different. It's when you're awake at night and asleep during the day. Now, if we were to figure out when do chameleons go to sleep, let's look at this page from the storybook. Here we see it looks like it's very dark in the rainforest. There's a lot of blues. We see chameleons' eyes are closed here like this. And in this case, it looks like they're sleeping at night. So that means they must be awake during the day. Do you know which of the 2 words we just discussed would describe when do chameleons go to sleep? I'll give you a second to figure it out. That's right. Chameleons in this case would be diurnal. Now, what is camouflage? We've seen in the other videos, we've described and discussed and talked about what's camouflage, but I'll say it just again, just to be sure. And so camouflage is when you can blend in with your surroundings. It's when you look the same as the background. So in this case, for me to blend in with my wall here, I would have to be this wall's color, which I'm not. And so surroundings, let's remind ourselves from Miss Angelica's video for the storybook creating, surroundings is the place that is around you. So if we look in chameleon, chameleon seems to be the same color as the flowers. And here, Chameleon is the same color as the ground. And in this picture, we see Chameleon is the same color as the leaves around itself. And here are some more examples from the storybook. Here we see Chameleon being the same color as the flowers when there's the problem in the book. And here, when everything goes back to normal in the story, we can see that Chameleon is the same color as the leaves here. And with that being said, we can see that camouflage is best if it's for Chameleon, because then when all the other animals are camouflaged, it's hard to tell who's who. And so with that being said, this ends our adventure of getting to know Chameleon. And next week, you are going to be reading The Lion and the Little Red Bird with the Jumping Jelly Beans. Stay tuned, and that is all for today. So goodbye.